Welcome back everybody, it's Dilbo here with another build video. Today we're going over what I refer to as more of the lightning god. I was playing around with a couple different weapons that I found that do electricity and wanted to build around them and see what I could do. And I think I found a build that's pretty enjoyable to play. So we'll keep it pretty short and sweet. We're gonna hit the skill tree right away, go over weapons, and then you guys can get back out into the Wonderlands and have some fun. We're gonna go down Stabomancer is my primary class that I chose first. And we're just going to go work our way down the tree. Haste, so that way whenever we get movement speed, we're increasing our damage down here. And that'll make more sense here. So we have maxed out haste. We have 4 points into poisons, which is giving us damage effect and duration for longer and more damage output. Then we exploit their weaknesses, which anytime they take a proc from any sort of element, it increases the damage they take. Swift Death is the faster we're moving, the more damage we deal, which correlates with this off a melee attack. And then we have critical hit damage, 5 points into that, just so we are getting more damage put out. Elusive, so when we're sprinting we can actually negate some damage, that's kind of nice. And then status effect, it has a chance to randomly change. If there's no one else to change to, then it applies another new status of damage. Now when it comes to the Clawbringer, we are running I refer to it as the Thor Hammer, but the Storm Dragon's Judgment. And this tree is a little bit different in how I went with it. Was we max 4 out of 5 on Oath of Fire just because we do a little bit of fire damage, and I'll explain where that comes from. Then we have whenever we do melee damage, and his companion deals bonus lightning damage. So whenever we hit a melee, we get that extra lightning damage, which is huge. This is a nice one, Dragon Aura, which is just increasing our elemental damage by 30%, plus we get 2 extra points from our gear into there, which is huge. And then whenever we kill someone with a melee, we spawn a lightning orb that tracks, or a fire orb with our weapon. That's why we're 4 out of 5 into Oath of Fire, is because of that. Then we get down to here and we have Storm Breath, which then allows our companion to randomly use a lightning attack that spreads through everything. It's kind of nice. It's big and powerful. On this one is just increasing his power a little bit more. I could have put him elsewhere, but when he does hit it, we want him to be able to do a decent amount of damage. When it comes into our gears and weapons, what I'm using here is the Queen's Cry of Stone Prison, and the reason it says yes, it's frozen, but when you actually switch it out, you have a taser, which you can have up to 12 at a time into a clip. Each one of those will stick to an enemy and or proc on the floor, and when it procs, it multiple procs, so you can stack proccing electricity or any status effect for that at point, where it's constantly ticking as a new status effect. So that's huge to power up with our lightning. And then the live wire, if you don't know, whenever you melee something with this out, so if we swing and hit somebody, this little beam that shoots out actually bounces from everybody off our melee weapon. That's huge. And then I have the Crossblade of Discipline. I believe it's just the Crossblade, but I rolled it with lightning damage and dark magic damage. Dark magic to heal, obviously. Electricity because we're off electricity. So each one of those is also another way to proc, and it goes through enemies, which is huge. And then I do have the liquid cooling on, just if I do need it. I don't use it often. It is a broken gun right now, and it's kind of crazy. Otherwise, I will throw on the Blue Cake of Jealousy, which huge percent chance on when you are using electricity, has a high proc damage and a high electricity count, or damage. For a weapon right now, I'm using Fatebringer of Cleaving. I want to switch this one out. The main reason I'm still on it is melee attacks create 3 lightning projectiles that restore ward equal to 100% of their damage. So you can kind of sit there and tank through a boss and keep your shield up with no issues based on just that. But then again, it's also using electricity. I'm honestly going to switch it out to a Goblin Pick for more movement speed off meleeing and picking up. I don't have one on me. Meleeing and picking up money allows you to move quicker and better reload speed. And then when it comes to the gear we're wearing, I haven't found any good rings yet. That's my biggest struggle that I found so far, but the one that I have on now is just 17% gun damage, spell radius, pistol crit hit damage, because I'm trying to see if the tasers proc off gun critical hit chance or damage or not. I don't think they do, but I'm testing it. Melee, and then increasing just our melee hit chance and action cooldown rate, which I don't use often, but when we're on a boss, that's kind of hit for that melee hit crit chance to stand there and just kind of tank them. And then I have a Sprite Rune Jacket on. While standing still, get 20% increased lightning damage and ward regeneration. It's okay. There was a shield I did find that gives you just a flat 10% increase to lightning damage when you have it equipped. Haven't found it since. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, but I haven't found another good shield, so I'm just sticking with this. Plus the 20% resistance is nice if you're standing in water and electrocute the water, you take less damage. The Diamond Gauntlets. I dropped this randomly a long time ago as a chaotic and I just kind of kept it, which works really well for my build, but trying to find a different one is getting very, very hard. The main things we have on there is getting those 2 extra perks into the 3 perks we drop are beautiful. So we get 1 extra into Potent Posins, 2 extra into Exploit Their Weaknesses, and then 2 into our Damage Aura, which gives us a lot of benefits that we need. It's great. It's just the rolls that are on it aren't great. Plus it rolls as elemental damage only goes up from here, so while standing still, gain 50% increased critical hit, dark magic, and poison damage. I'm not using critical hit, and they just buffed dark magic due to it wasn't healing properly, so they matched it to the frozen or the ice. And then when it comes to our necklace, now hear me out, I know it shows Graveborn, which means we're losing 30% power somewhere. But the reason I'm running this is because we have the 34% lightning damage plus roughly 30% status effect damage plus another 30% status effect chains. Meaning we're proccing more often and getting more damage output. Yes, we're losing 30%, I just haven't found another necklace to run with this. And of course, Buffmeister. The reason we're running this one is I run a fire one, so that way if I'm hitting something with electricity or hitting him with taser shots or my live wire, and they're immune to it, I can then proc my Buffmaster, and every tick that would be electric is now fire as well. So meaning they're taking a ridiculous amount of damage very quickly as fire instead of just electricity. And then when we go into Myth rank, I've played a lot. So the main ones that we're going for is going to be in Druid. We have our lightning damage is 20%, which is maxed out. We have our Archmage, which then our status effect chance is maxed out as well. So we're getting a plus, 30%. And in here, we have Dark Magic maxed out. And then I'm just working on getting all of these first 2 points. So Dexterity and Wisdom, and I think Attunement's up here. And then Intellect. And then Frost damage is maxed out and things like that. So nothing crazy on the buff side there. When we look into our hero tree, comes to our points in here. We're looking at these 2. I want that necklace to switch to a Clawbringer power due to I can then have my Wyvern be doing more damage and have more health, which is nice, and plus our Thor Hammer does more damage as well. It is what it is until I find when I'm just leaving it as is. It works for what I'm doing. So then I have 34 points into crit damage, 27 into crit chance. I have 32 into spell cooldown to keep my cooldown on my spell better, so I'm putting out more. Obviously 60% into status damage because that's huge. And then I think these are just left as is. And that's kind of where this build is at. That is where I'm going to leave you guys today. If you have questions, have ideas, please drop them in the comment. Hit that like button. You guys are doing amazing on these build videos, and I appreciate it so much. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Good luck out there, and see you next time. Bye.